The year is almost ending. This was my journal from last year, 2024, and this is the one I've been using for 2025, with just about 1 month left. Since I've been journaling for as long as I can remember, one crucial thing I've realized is this. Journaling itself is great, but how you journal really matters. One of the questions I get the most usually goes like this. Okay, I'm convinced. I'll start journaling. I bought the fresh new notebook. I'm staring at this intimidating blank page. Now what? Should I write about what I did today or what the weather is? Can I write in point form? Then after a few days, you start to wonder, am I doing this right? Will this actually transform my life or even help me at all? That uncertainty leads to skipping a day or two and then eventually stopping altogether. This usually happens because you haven't defined why you're journaling. In other words, it's important to understand exactly how you'll benefit from the journaling practice. So today, I'm going to show you how I journal, but here's what's important to know. There are many ways to journal, and how I do it is certainly not the only way. The most powerful approach is always the one that best suits you and your needs. However, what I'm certain of is that after watching this video, you'll have a clearer sense of what journaling can do for you, which will help you find your own journaling style. If you're not sure where to start, what to write on the blank page, the easiest solution is to answer a set of prompts. Good prompts lead to good journaling. That's because the prompts like these help guide the direction of your thoughts. Our minds can often feel scattered, all mush and mingled, but when you answer good prompts, they gently untangle what's in your mind and help you express it in a more organized way. The 5 prompts I use in my daily journal are pebble, truth, prayer, gratitude, and change. The prompts can also come in the form of gentle questions. What was the pebble thrown into the pond of my mind today? What made me feel the way I did? Whether it was gratitude, joy, frustration, or even anger. Once you identify it, you can ask yourself whether it's something within your control to change or something beyond it. Emotions can be a helpful trail leading back to a deeper self-understanding and identifying the experiences you've gone through more clearly. Once you recognize the pebble, the next question you could ask yourself is, what did I learn from this? And how can I carry that lesson into tomorrow with more awareness? For example, I could write something like this. I felt a bit down today because my stomach was uncomfortable and it made me worry since it's been bothering me for a couple of days. Then I tried to figure out what the pebble was, and I narrowed it down to possibly drinking too much matcha. 2 big glasses of it every day. I probably enjoyed it a little too much and ended up having too much milk, which irritated my stomach. So, for how can I carry that lesson into tomorrow, I decided to pause my matcha drinking for a week and see how it goes. Of course, it doesn't have to be something physical. It could also be related to relationships, work, or any other area of your life. This process can help you navigate your day with more clarity and take broader, more intentional steps towards becoming a healthier and happier version of yourself. I'm not exaggerating when I say this journal has literally changed my life, especially when it comes to my personal growth and also achieving many of my goals. Because no wonder it's actually designed specifically for that purpose. Even though I've been journaling for as long as I can remember, I realized at some point that one critical element was missing, which was that I wasn't using it as an intentional, systematic guide for my personal growth, my progress. So with this journal, I set my yearly goals in this section. This is where I write down the goals and resolutions I want to achieve for the year. I place it on the very first page so I'm reminded of them every day, helping me stay focused and on track. Your goals can be anything: financial, business related, personal growth, like losing weight, or strengthening relationships. When setting yearly goals, it helps to make them challenging yet attainable, and also ideally measurable and specific. Here, there is space you can write 10 of your goals for the year, with the top 3 priorities highlighted. Next to each goal, there are 10 small checkboxes I use to track my progress. For example, if I filled in 4 out of 10 boxes for a particular goal, I know I'm about 40% of the way there. Every day when I open my journal, these progress boxes serve as a gentle reminder of what I'm working toward, and also play the role of a little visual reward that keeps me motivated. Some might argue, how is a habit tracker part of journaling? Depending on how you define journaling. Well, I believe they serve the same purpose, to help me grow and become 1% better version of me tomorrow than I was today. Since you're opening your journal every day anyway, one great way to make the most of that moment is to track your small daily habits. Simply check in and see how you're doing. At the very beginning of this journal, we set our yearly goals. And to achieve any of those goals, you need consistent daily actions or habits, I call. And that's where the habit tracker comes in. I like to use a monthly habit tracker, so it's placed on the first page of each month's journaling entries. It gives me a clear visual of how consistent I've been and helps me stay accountable. For example, if your goal for the upcoming year is to lose some weight or take better care of your health, write down the small habits you want to incorporate into your daily routine here. I color in the circles as a form of self-evaluation for each habit, depending on how much I've accomplished that day. Sometimes I only fill in half a circle if I feel I didn't quite complete the action fully. Another way I use the half circle is for habits I want to do twice a day. I color in the left half when I complete the habit in the morning and the right half when I complete it again in the evening. So the way you use these little graphics is completely up to you. They're meant to be flexible. The first page of each month has the habit tracker, as I showed you earlier. And the last page of each month is the monthly review. I do this using the life balance wheel. Here's how I do my monthly review. I look at 4 main categories: relationship, health, wealth, and growth. Under each category, I list the specific sub-areas and reflect on how I feel I did that month. For each subcategory, I give myself a score from 1 to 5, with 5 being the highest. This year, I added an extra layer of clarity by writing down specific goal for each subcategory. I noticed this helps make my intentions more tangible and measurable. For example, instead of simply scoring the self category, I write a clear objective such as be kind and more encouraging for my relationship with myself. After scoring everything, I connect the dots to see the overall shape of my month. The goal, of course, is to make the circle as wide and balanced as possible. It's simply a helpful way to quickly see which areas I should focus on a bit more next month. Along with the life balance wheel, there's another way I like to review each month. On the last day of every month, I casually jot down the big or memorable events that happened. To do this, I usually revisit my journal entries or scroll through my photo library to remind myself of what took place. I started this habit because over the years, I've noticed that time feels like it's speeding up. And I didn't want each month or a year to become one big blur. So, writing these highlights helped me remember meaningful moments, recount my blessings at a quick glance, and even acknowledge the struggles I went through. It often reminds me that many things I once worried about are now simply part of the past, and it helps me stay grounded in gratitude. Bonus tip: when reviewing past entries, having a few stickers or small visual marks actually helps make the process smoother. If your pages are too text-heavy, revisiting them can feel less enjoyable. Anyway, this brings me to the final part of my journaling routine, the weekly planner. I get a lot of questions about how I incorporate planning side of journaling, and for me, weekly planner is where I map out my next day's to-dos. I used to plan digitally on Notion, but that often led me to check my phone more than necessary, and you know how easy it is to get distracted by Instagram. I do enjoy scrolling, but I wanted it to be at a planned time. So now, at the end of each day, I write my weekly planning and to-dos right here in my journal. I also bring my journal with me to my work studio, so this system works really well for me. And this year, I upgraded the journal with an extending flap, something many people loved in the 3-part journal, so I added it to the 5-part journal as well. I can easily insert the monthly calendar here, which keeps everything right in front of me as I plan my month and week. How I use it is very straightforward. I set my weekly goals and write down what I hope to accomplish throughout the week. I also use this space to mark my monthly goal deadlines. Everything is undated, so nothing goes to waste. One of the biggest reasons I created my own journal is because skipping dated pages used to give me so much guilt. If you've made it this far, I take it you're really serious about finding a good journaling method. Whether you're just starting out or you've been journaling for a while. I know today's video was a bit technical and even a little boring for some, but I genuinely hope it gave you a clear idea of how to start your journaling habit. Like, now I know what to write. You can absolutely start journaling in any blank notebook you have. But if you want, you can also try 5-part journal I designed. I originally made it just for myself, but when I shared it last year, so many people asked me to turn it into a product. So yes, now it's available. And make sure to check out this video if you want to learn more about it in detail. It's almost the end of the year. I hope you get ready and start journaling before the new year begins so you can enjoy all the benefits throughout the year. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!